Welcome to the Explainer. For most of modern medicine, the goal has been pretty simple: extend life. But a new question is changing everything. It's not just about adding years to your life anymore, it's about adding life to your years. And a whole wave of new research suggests we might have been getting the fundamental process of aging all wrong. Okay, let's start with a single, really powerful number: 12. According to recent studies, this is the staggering gap between how long we live, on average, and how long we live well. We're talking more than a decade of life potentially spent dealing with chronic illness, disability, and just a lower quality of life. And this, right here, is the core challenge. Lifespan, that's just the raw number of candles on the cake. Health span is the quality of those years. Yeah, we're gaining years of life, which is an absolute miracle of modern science, but we're not necessarily gaining life in our years. Closing this 12-year gap, that's the new frontier, and it's forcing scientists to rethink everything they thought they knew about why we get old. So, if we actually want to close that 12-year gap, we have to go back to square one and ask a question that has puzzled people for, well, forever. For decades, the answer seemed pretty obvious, right? Our bodies just wear out, like an old car. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the main theory has actually been pointing us in the wrong direction this whole time? The old idea was basically that aging is passive. It's just an accumulation of damage we can't fix. But this powerful new idea, the hyperfunction theory, it completely flips that on its head. It suggests aging isn't a loss of function, but a damaging excess of it. The very biological programs that helped us grow up and be strong just don't know when to quit. And this quote just illustrates it perfectly. One of the architects of the theory, Dr. Blogus-Klani, puts it this way: our cells get stuck with the gas pedal floored. So the crucial takeaway here is the goal isn't just to repair the damage from the car crash, it's to gently tap the brakes and slow the car down before it happens. And that leads us to the absolutely fascinating science of how researchers are trying to do exactly that. They're targeting the very engines inside our cells that are stuck in overdrive. And they're starting with one of the most important ones. Okay, let's get into this. Meet mTRC1. Now, don't worry about the name. Just think of it as the general contractor for your cells. It's always checking for supplies, nutrients, energy. And when things are plentiful, it's the one that shouts, "Build!" When we're young, this is absolutely essential. But later in life, its constant grow signal becomes a major driver of that damaging, hyperfunctional overdrive. This is where a compound called rapamycin comes into the picture. It's probably one of the most studied anti-aging drugs on the planet. And what it does is act as a direct brake on mTRC1. By blocking that relentless grow signal, it allows the cell to shift its resources away from runaway building projects and back toward essential housekeeping, repair and maintenance. Now, what's really cool is we're starting to see fresh human data on this. The recent Pearl trial is one of the biggest efforts so far looking at low-dose rapamycin for longevity in healthy people. The results are still early, but they're pretty compelling. The study found that for women, a 10-milligram dose led to a significant jump in lean muscle and a drop in self-reported pain. And at a 5-milligram dose, people of all genders just felt healthier. This is some of the first real evidence that tapping that mTORC1 brake might directly improve our health span. But rapamycin is just one piece of the puzzle. The hyperfunction theory suggests that really any intervention that calms down the cellular overdrive could be good for us, which opens up a whole new toolkit of possibilities. And the latest research shows us a whole range of tools for calming this overdrive. You have things like the popular GLP-1 drugs, which reduce the metabolic stress that fuels hyperfunction. On a totally different note, things like meditation and even just strong friendships have been shown to dial down the inflammatory signals that are a key symptom of this overdrive. And even good old-fashioned exercise works its magic here, helping the body clear out those dysfunctional zombie cells that are just stuck in overdrive and spewing out inflammatory junk. Okay, so all this science is amazing, but it brings up a really practical question. If we're trying to slow down our own aging, how on earth do we track our progress? Well, it comes down to looking past the number on the scale and measuring key biomarkers of your actual health span. First up is VO2 max. And look, this is not just for elite athletes anymore. Think of it as a direct measure of your body's engine, how well you can take in oxygen and get it to your muscles. Study after study shows that a higher VO2 max is one of the single strongest predictors of a long and healthy life. It's a direct window into your body's real-world capacity. And on the flip side, Don't sleep on something as simple as grip strength. This isn't just about having strong hands. It's a proxy for your overall muscle quality and how healthy your nervous system is. And the research is kind of wild. After age 45, a drop in grip strength is a surprisingly powerful early warning sign. It correlates with everything from cognitive decline to how fast you're aging at a genetic level. So here's the bottom line. This whole new understanding of aging as a state of hyperfunction, it reframes everything. It suggests that the big diseases of aging, cancer, heart disease, dementia, they might not be separate problems we have to solve one by one. They could just be symptoms of a single underlying process, those youthful growth programs just running wild. And that leaves us with a final, really provocative question. If that's true, should we stop treating the symptoms and start treating aging itself?